Imagine a recent graduate walks into a job interview armed not just with a degree, but with real-world experience that perfectly aligns with the job. That is the power of bridging the gap between education and industry. Let me take you through the journey, starting with my own. After graduation, I joined Apple as an associate. I thought that I will be able to put into practice everything that I learned in lectures. But the reality was quite different. The challenges that I encountered were to know how to communicate, convince people, negotiate with them. And I had a feeling of, why didn't I practice these skills at university? Because traditional higher education largely focuses on theoretical knowledge. It's systematic, it's structured, and is it really synchronized with what modern employers are looking for? Journalist George Anders, from his research, claimed that one of the best candidates are not the ones who has highest GPAs or who have got excellent study backgrounds, but the ones who possess analytical skills, critical skills, let's say, those people who know how to think outside the box. Evolving demands of this workforce are like rivers that's constantly changing the route, but the educational system, it's like a bridge built on old maps. And this disparity leaves graduates unprepared for the reality of job market. And here we come across to a question. How to be prepared? What is hands-on learning? It's not just learning by studying. It's an immersive experience that bridges theory with practice. Let me give you an example. At our university, students can take part at Harvard Business Case competition, where they have to analyze real-world cases of those companies and come up with their own proposals and recommendations by convincing each other, audience, and judges. And by the way, those judges are C-level managers or famous entrepreneurs who are ready to provide some job or work experiences. And eventually, those students will be able to be equipped with not only theoretical knowledge, but also with some practical knowledge. At the same time, they will be able to gain an experience from those works. Here, we can say that from these kinds of initiatives, it shows that students will be able to learn real-world context, and they're not going to be just prepared for the work, but they will be able to explore themselves, become more innovative and adaptable. Let's think about some challenges, because integrating this hands-on learning into the education, it presents several challenges that need to be addressed. And these challenges may range from outdated curricula to limited resources that hinder the implementation of practical learning methods. Let me give you an example. Last year, when I was designing some curriculum, I came across to over 150 different curriculum from so many different universities worldwide. And despite the extensive search, I discovered that the only 20% of those curricula focused on actual practical learning for students. And here I thought, then we need to consider about some innovative solutions. What do you think? What can be some possible solution? What came to my mind was one of the alternative solutions, maybe not keep pushing students to have those practical experiences, joining internships, but also encouraging heads of departments or even deans to spend some time in potential workplaces where their students are going to be employed. And Having this in mind, you can see how the collaboration, how mutually beneficial it will be for both sides. Don't you think so? By actively engaging with the work environments, educational institutions can better understand the needs and expectations of those employers, where they can prepare students more effectively to their future careers. Now, let's briefly move on to the collaboration part. So building this strong bridge requires some collaboration between educational institutions and industry partners. It is fascinating to note that the impact of this collaboration extends beyond the traditional classroom setting. In fact, a survey that was conducted among CEOs of Fortune 500 companies by Forbes unveiled an intriguing fact. 80% of these executives, they preferred candidates who have had practical experiences like during mentorship programs or internship experiences. And you know what? These CEOs, they actually provided their own mentorship programs by themselves. So from that, we'll be able to find out that it underscores the value those industry leaders place on real-world exposure and highlights how collaboration can bridge the gap between academia and ever-evolving demands of the job market. Therefore, we can also undoubtedly say that by embracing these collaborative efforts, such as mentorship programs or internships, we will be able to display a solid foundation for the bridge of a workforce-ready generation of students. Now, let me take a pause in here for a moment. Imagine a ripple effect of aligning this education with industry needs. We're talking about a workforce that's not just employable, but is employed in the long run. This alignment can lead to a society where innovation is constant and the challenges are met with skill and agility. The long-term benefits can become economic, societal, and even individual, and they are immense. So all in all, let's revisit the importance of this hands-on learning, because it's not just an educational strategy. It is a necessity for our times. I urge each one of you, educators, industry leaders, policymakers, and students to champion this cause. Let's work together to bridge the gap between education and real-world needs. Let's empower our future workforce to not just face it, but to lead it. Thank you.